Hello, my name is Mitch and I draw Blood Force, and we're back with another revisit. Getting back to our roots, you might say. It's been a little while since we hit Brigade number 1. I thought it might be fun if we moved on to Brigade number 1. But first, if you're enjoying the channel, if you want to support me as an artist, best thing you can do is you can open up the description. There'll be a couple of links there. First one takes you to my Patreon. And that's where you can find all of the Blood Force pages. That's where you find all these videos before they get uploaded to YouTube. And also all the behind-the-scenes stuff. So if you want to subscribe there, that's worth dropping a couple of bucks on. Also, you can go over to my Instagram because commissions are now open. So if you wanted your own Blood Force artwork, that's the best way to get it. So this is the Blood Brothers crossover part 1. We hit the prologue already with Bloodstrike. And so now we are ready for the main event here. And first thing I want to point out, actually, on this is the cover date. So this is May 1993. You might be saying, well, what, are you going to bitch about the fucking schedule on number 1? So, well, not for this comic, but for this one, maybe. This one that says July. So 2 months after this one here. I do have a vague memory of finding this before I was able to find this. I didn't realize it actually been released later. So, yeah, you pick this up and you're like, what the fuck happened to Brigade? I mean, I guess it's my fault for still buying Brigade at that point. Really, like, you know, there's enough blame to go around. And second thing we want to mention, of course, look at that. Isn't that something? So much effort went into those. Like, each of these was a full-on piece of, like, comic book paper. You know? Like a full-size board. And this is what he decided to put on them. There's, like, nothing going on in these. And this looks like a pattern. I think it is. I don't even think he put that on there. Yeah, that's pretty bad. Assuming that I ever make a worst covers list for 1993, I don't think this makes top 10, but definitely gets an honorable mention. Just the idea that Merritt turned this in and Rob went, yeah, that looks fine. It's the kind of thing that just upsets me about the whole affair. So let's open this crap up. So this is a sort of homecoming. Okay. So co-plotter, Rob Liefeld, pencils and co-plotter, Merritt Michaels, script and editor, Eric Stevenson, and colors by Paul Mounts. And that will actually make a bit of a difference. So, if you recall, in the Brigade series, that was all Brian Murray, doing his weird Brian Murray-ness. All of this kind of stuff, where you just leave too much up to the colorist, and he's like, I don't know. I gotta fill my day somehow. So now we got Paul Mounts, who's a bit of a different guy. Paul Mounts is the guy who colored the X-Men trading card series by Jim Lee, if you recall that one. And he would do weird shit like put wrapping paper in the background if Jim Lee didn't draw something. Because why the fuck not? So we start off, and Brigade is still returning. They're just getting back from wherever they were when they fought genocide. And if we look at the costumes, Battlestone has switched to his old costume, his Youngblood Zero costume. Because at the end of Brigade number 4, he was still in his Brigade number 1 costume. KO has also switched his costume. Mid-space flight. Everybody else is wearing the same clothes they put on when they got out on the ship. I feel like, yeah, Battlestone, this might be a bit of an updated look. Oh, wait. Did he have... No, yeah, because he didn't have shoulder pads in Youngblood number 0. All right, so we're going to start off with a splash page. And, I mean, as far as Merritt Michaels goes, this is kind of as good as it gets, I think. You know, there's some funky shit going on with thermal and stasis here, But Merritt Michaels has always had a problem drawing women, as far as I can tell. And I mean, I can't chew a guy out for that because that's a fault I have myself. But all these guys look pretty good. The muscles all look okay. There's weird shit going on in the shinies, but I actually don't mind him trying something new there. And even put in some techie stuff for the ship. I mean, this is easily the best Merritt Michaels page I've seen so far. And is better than anything going on the cover. I don't mind the veins, although the bicep veins look kind of dumb. But that's about it. And like these gigantic fucking heads. Yeah, no, this page beats everything else on the cover. The coloring helps too. Who colored this mess on the cover? They're not going to say. They're not going to out anybody. All right, so they land at their beach house. And, just land in their underground hangar. And Battlestone kind of walks off because, well, in case you forgot from, well, the entire Brigade miniseries, really, Battlestone's a bit of a dick. Where he just does stupid things because it seems like something a dickish team leader would do. So they touch down. KO complains that they're not even going to go through like a debriefing. Like, we just got back from fucking space. And Battlestone's like, your point being? You're like, what? You're being confrontational for no reason already? And, KO's like, hey, look, nobody blames you for what happened there, even though we really should. Because, leaving aside that you let us into a bunch of shit, you actively made things worse once we were in the shit. And Battlestone's like, sorry if I'm not living up to your expectations, KO, but I'll run this team as I see fit. You don't like it? Think you can do better? Just say the word. And this is all of Battlestone's fucking dialogue in this issue. I think in the coming issues, actually. And Thermal's on, look, we can't, we need you to give us some guidance and shit. And Stasis is actually apparently a character now. I don't even know if she got any dialogue in the miniseries. I would guess not. And she's like, fuck this, I'm out. And Battlestone's like, what? Who is this woman? I don't remember you at all. And Stasis is all like, look, just, you guys are all just kind of acting like he didn't just get Atlas killed back there. But I'm like fucking off now. So you guys figure it out amongst yourselves. And immediately when she's leaving, gets shot in the head. Nice kind of splattery shot here. And again, this is all, for Merritt Michaels, pretty good. Yeah, like I'm looking to see if, I think this is him at like maximum effort at this time. Because he gets, he got his first launch with Brigade number 1. And he was very excited about that, I think. But, Rob drew all the layouts and everything, and he's just kind of like going, he's basically tracing. And, by the time he got through like 2, 3, 4, I think he was starting to run out of steam, and he didn't know how to lay shit out by himself. Beginning of issue 1 here, it feels like he's trying to like implement things that he's learned maybe, and show that he's a for real like comic artist guy. It's like, all right, Mary, you go ahead and you try that shit. Let's see how that goes. So, yeah, Stasis got shot in the head, and Cabot tells him that was a warning shot, because Cabot doesn't understand what a warning shot is. And the boys in Washington seem to think you're pretty hot stuff. You all get outrageously high prices on your heads. You're worth as much dead as you are alive. So they're more mercenaries, although I'm pretty sure I thought they were like government-backed or some shit like that. Well, like, here, because you turn the page. This government issue death squad is, yeah. So it sounds like they're a government unit, but he's talking about how they've got a price on their heads. I don't know. I mean, like, these are guys who have to be, like, kept alive constantly by the Gate Industries or whatever the fuck, right? So do they really need money all that much? Anyway. So Battlestone's going to start a fight because that's all Battlestone ever knows how to do. And again, decent kind of fighty stuff for Merit. And we get kind of, in case you forgot who was writing this thing, you just check out the dialogue and say, Cabot's like, I've been waiting a long time for this. And like, really? Never realized you had a masochistic streak in you, Cabot. Just goes to show. Learn something new every day. Not a new cliche. I've got the same cliches. Yeah, look at the striations on the muscles here. That's not bad. All right. Like, I'm going to ease up on Merit for now because I just know he's going to slip up later. And they call out what's his name? Deadlock from the 4. Just in case you were kind of wondering, because he doesn't look quite the same, and he didn't in Bloodstrike number 1. But yeah, nope. And there's all just sort of interchangeable dialogue here for mid-fight. I should be paying attention to, because it is kind of useful. You do well to remember that. I got him his forearm covered, and it's 4 plays. Oh, shit, really? And Cold Snap and Thermal are going to team up on, not Shinobi. What's his fucking name? Shintaro? No. Shogun. I was close. And again, he's doing that wobbly kind of stuff on the metal. It's interesting. But yeah, anyway, they're teaming up on him, trying to shatter him. So that's an idea. That's like a tactic almost. It's a good job there. And he does a quick move to grab Thermal out of the air. Don't mind that too much. And then blasts Cold Snap, which destroys his regulation apparatus, so his cold power goes out of control. And I kind of remember this, actually, being like, man, that's kind of sick. He's just like his... I assume it's coming out of him. It's hard to tell. Yeah, it seems to be the case. But, yeah, just his own power kind of eating him. That's all right. And, wait. Let go of me, you monster. He could die if I don't help him. Yeah, wouldn't that be a shame? Say your prayers, sweetie. Got our say our prayers for this issue. Let's see. So while he's making Thermal say her prayers, Seahawk rams in him from behind. And, hard of hearing, I think the lady asked to be let go. All this kind of shit, man. Oh, my God, it's exhausting. And he goes, Seahawk! So Seahawk goes to check on Thermal. And when he does, Deadlock kind of sneaks up on him and goes, shouldn't turn your back on your opponent. It's called common sense. Look into it. And apparently just kind of shoots him. Like he better have shot him from that kind of range, shooting that many times. So, and again, decent kind of gesturing here. Not terrible. And then KO is kind of distracted by the fact that his team is getting annihilated. And they really kind of are, actually. I mean, like, Stasis has been shot in the head. Thermal's out. Seahawk has been apparently shot. Cold Snap's been completely incapacitated and maybe dying. Who knows? And KO here gets his jaw busted. So, considering this is the Brigade book, this isn't a bad job of actually giving them a bit of a challenge, really. So that's all right. And anyway, so they're kind of calling on Battlestone to, maybe surrender at this point now. Your entire team is dead or incapacitated. And Battlestone has the upper hand on Cabot. Gonna go for the punch. Tag freezes him so Cabot can get some sucker punches in. And then the ship kind of crashes into wherever they were. And Battlestone goes, thank you, Martin. I'd completely forgotten about the old guy in the heat of the fight. And we're all like, who? You forgot about who? And he's talking about, at the beginning of Brigade number 1, see, we have actually come a long way for Merritt Michaels. There's this guy here who was just hanging out in their beach house, and he goes, "Stone, Code Red in DC," and that's his only line of dialogue in the first. That's the only time anybody even talks to him in the entire miniseries. And apparently he just showed up and distracted guys, so grabs Tag to freeze Cabot. That's fine. Pretty good punch panel. I might steal a little bit of that, to be honest. And then bips her on the nose here to knock her out. Doesn't even bother to look at her. Be nice if he missed. So that's 2/5 of Bloodstrike down, at least. And does a flying double punch, by the looks of it, to take out Deadlock. That's all right. And gets Thermal to pick up Cold Snap. I guess so that she can thaw him out, theoretically. While he picks up Stasis. And they kind of leave KO and Seahawk to just be, captured by Bloodstrike. Although I guess, theoretically, Seahawk should be dead. That's a pretty awkward. There's all sorts of awkwardness going on in here. But if that's the worst we can find, that's actually pretty good. And obviously, Brigade escapes at this point. And he goes, "Don't worry, they won't be nearly as lucky next time. And there will be a next time." That's okay. So then they show up at Gate International. And see, that's that guy. That's Paul? What's his name? Tom? Martin. Oh, I think you should have gone with Paul. And on the way there, everybody's kind of questioning Battlestone what the hell he thinks he's going to do. And Battlestone does his usual thing of, "How dare you question me? I know things. Leave me alone." Look, I don't expect you to be completely free from misgivings about all this, but trust me, everything will turn out all right. And then talk about, who is this Sandler guy anyway? Sandler is the guy that they're taking Cold Snap and Stasis to. He's like, "Who he is shouldn't really be any of your concern, Thermal. And at the moment, it isn't any of mine either." And it's like, right now I'm more interested in what he can do for Stasis and Cold Snap. Which is, listen, I've already been through this with Martin, and I'm already getting a little tired of being questioned at every turn. So yeah, every opportunity to just be an asshole and try and alienate people. Which is fine if that's what you're going for with the character. If you don't want him to be likable, which he may not, I suppose you could do worse. And the Sandler guy is like, "Do you have any idea how much trouble you're causing me?" "No, and frankly, I could care less." Every single person is just like, Battlestone's just like, "Yeah, fuck you. Yeah, fuck you too. Help me." And they're going to do what they can with Cold Snap. And they're like, "What do you want me to do with the corpse?" And he's like, "You know what to do with the corpse." And I don't know if I like the grin there. It's like, no, not that. I want you to bring her back. It's like, oh, okay. All right, we can do that. And then we get Battlestone brooding on the events of Youngblood Zero when he killed, what was that kid's name? Gamble. That was it. And then the events of Brigade number 4, which, remember, haven't happened yet. They haven't been released, where Atlas died, to the events of page 3, where Stasis got shot in the head. Not a bad drawing of Stasis getting shot in the head, either. This stuff's a little iffy. But seeing as how we're referencing stuff that was more poorly drawn than most of the rest of this, I almost think that's okay. And Thermal breaks him out of his reverie. And he goes, that creepy Sandler guy wants to see you. And he's like, "Why don't you save it for someone who cares?" He's so fucking emo. Because I certainly don't. So yeah, they're going to go down and meet with the Sandler guy. And they had the weird choice of coloring the word balloons green. I suppose because the background's white. But I'm pretty sure if you made the word balloons white, we still could have read them better. But whatever. So they meet the Sandler guy. Cold Snap seems to be doing better, and Stasis not so much. Apparently they've increased her size to like 60 feet. I'm not sure what the fuck is going on there, because these are the people. Meanwhile, Stasis is over here, unless she's like way the fuck up, but like that doesn't make any sense. The only thing that makes any sense is, yeah, like all of a sudden she's 100 feet tall. And Thermal is just, I don't understand what's going on. Why do you have the corpse in the back to tank? And Palstone's like, that's enough, Thermal. This isn't the time or place for explanations, so just cool it. Now, why would we want explanations in this story where shit just kind of happened? So, Sandler estimates a 2 or 3 week layover for Stasis before she's back up and running. Paul here is like, what do we do about Bloodstrike? We only got like a third of the team. And he's like, we go get reinforcements. And they're going to go looking for, I think, somebody else from Youngblood number 0, actually. No, it doesn't seem... Okay, I thought he was from Youngblood number 0. This is Boone. In that there was Rain and Boggs and... Who's the guy who got killed? Gamble, right. We knew that. So, Boone here is breaking into a place with help from Hack, who's his micro. It's kind of awkward stuff going on. Like, this pose isn't great. It was good up until he had to figure out what to do with that leg. That's a bit of a shame. And, okay, big flying down through the window stuff going on. Suppose that's a kick. Yeah, just like kind of mindless action. None of it looks particularly fantastic, and I mean, yeah, there's no real reason for this to be here other than we want to try and pretend like this Boone guy's a badass. So, Hack gets jumped by whatever guys Boone is trying to jump, but the guys that jump Hack get jumped by Battlestone, who shows up with a stick. Can't beat Battlestone with a stick. And these looks like some very, very thought out attacks here. Like particularly this flip here. It's like, this is going to be the coolest way to end this page right here with no background, no border or anything. And then he's going to just roll around on the floor, and every shot is going to hit something. And he's going to go, damn, I'm good. And that'd be the coolest thing ever. I want like this shot in a movie. But like the Master from like wide, like, way back, where some dude's just kind of rolling around while, explosions go around, making that face. And then, long time no see, Boone. Hope you're finishing up whatever you and Hacker had going here, because you got about 30 seconds to make some real important decisions about your future. Starting now. Got your 30 seconds. Oh, and he signed this one. This was the page. I don't think this was the page. That was the page. That's a much better page. He is losing steam here a little bit. This is a fairly Liefeld looking page. This one, like, it doesn't look like Liefeld. It's not like there's problems with it, but I'd say he was doing better there. So I'm not sure exactly what happened, but yeah, he kind of lost the thread a bit there. Nope, Doom's 4 coming up soon. June 93? That sounds a little early. I got July 94. Yeah, no, not quite. Okay. There's some Trencher. And, oh, there's the rest of that fucking cover. Okay, so that was Brigade number 1. You know what? That's probably the best. In terms of execution, that's probably the best Brigade comic we've seen. It's not the most fun to read. That's still Brigade number 2, because you just go, what? But, this is the best Merritt's drawn. Again, I think he kind of loses it eventually, but that's fine. And the story, I mean, like, the dialogue is still god-awful. Every which way. The plot isn't too bad. Yeah, I mean, you think about it, Brigade gets jumped, they lose most of the team, They try to salvage what they can. We set up the Project Born Again stuff, actually. Like in terms of a first chapter, this does a much better job than Killer Instinct did, I have to say. Ooh, I don't know how I feel about that. But yeah, no, like this introduced, this brought Bloodstrike in. I mean, Bloodstrike #1 introduced Bloodstrike, but it brought them into another comic and, brought up that there were ties and again, fucked up the team, brought in new members. I don't know why you need new members after just 4 issues, but that is kind of the Image way. And Born Again and not terrible, which is shocking. This cover's still fucking awful, but really, and they didn't charge. Like, this is kind of a thick book, actually. How many pages is this? 28. Like, 28 pages is not terrible. And they charge you the regular amount, and you got your triple gatefold, your shitty triple gatefold, but they didn't charge any extra, so, like, who cares, right? I gotta give this a pass, I think. I'm as shocked as anybody, really. So let's see if Bloodstrike #2 can kind of keep the momentum going. I would be absolutely flabbergasted. But that's going to do it for this one, I guess. If you like this video, please hit like, hit subscribe, hit the notifications. Go follow me on Twitter. More importantly, go over to my Patreon and subscribe there, because that's where all the Blood Force pages end up. That's where all these videos end up before they go on YouTube, so usually about a week or so in advance. And that's where all the behind the scenes and Patreon exclusive stuff is. So that's worth checking out. Also, Blood Force commissions are now open on my Instagram. So if you want to go over there and DM me, you can get your own Blood Force art. But that's going to do it for this one. Thanks again for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.